So despite all of the apocalyptic gasoline talk that they kept on talking about, and they kept on saying, oh yeah, well, gas prices are going to plummet and then the economy's going to explode and blah, 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 blah. Right now, regular unleaded is $2.13. Premium is $2.53. If you pay by credit card here in New York, you get gypped. $2.63 for credit card. If you get premium, $2.23 for regular. Thing about it is, I'm looking at the regular prices because right here, this is a base model 3.6 liter SRX. Now, if you've been watching my videos, that the Uber cars that I've been buying in order to do our Uber service, if you've been watching, the last SRX that I leased was a fully loaded model. This right here is not loaded, and you can use, if you have one of these and you don't have anything to do with it, you can always get yourself a driver, and then you can join Uber's Black service. Now, they take 20% off the top. We've got, what is it, like 6 or 7 people at this point working for us. Everybody wants in on it. And as long as you get yourself a nice, good driver with no history of like drugs or cocaine or meth, as long as you get yourself a good driver, they can drive these cars for you. And as long as, you know, Uber does a simple inspection and they check to make sure it's in good condition. They check to make sure you're not an axe murderer or anything. And that's it. And then you just, basically you get yourself a decent driver, and anybody who wants to earn some money, Uber driver here in New York City, especially in this inclement weather, can earn a lot of money driving cars just like this. Now, I myself don't have the time for this because I'm too busy actually running the business. So, you know, I'm out here just testing this car and just making sure everything's good with it. But it looks good. You know, it's a Cadillac, so people respect that. And the beautiful thing, once again, and I love saying this, the 3.6 liter V6 uses regular unleaded. So you'd be paying $2.13 per gallon rather than paying $2.53. So if you're sitting in SRT products and driving those around like me, you know, you're basically getting 9 miles to a gallon for one, and then on top of that, you're paying $2.53, which isn't so fun. So, you know, I've already done a review of the STS, the XTS, and the SRX. I'm waiting for us to possibly get a CT6. And as you also know, I was thinking about getting my mom a CTS. All these goddamn letters I gotta remember. So, basically, you know, I'm just gonna do one more little review just to get more extra YouTube money. You know, because I figure, hey, if you're going to buy these cars, shit, you might as well talk about them, make some money on YouTube. A lot of people don't even realize that they could be doing that. It's funny, we have a lot of drivers who do taxi limousine commission, and these guys aren't on YouTube. But the thing about it, what's so funny is they have the freshest, newest S-classes. They got the freshest, newest BMWs. They got some of them got Maybachs and stuff, and they're doing these driving services, and they don't even realize that they could be making so much money by, you know, showing the world what these cars are and, you know, the best way to purchase them and this, that, and other. A lot of people don't get it. So I'm going to take you on a little ride. Some people have asked me about how much money I'm making doing running an Uber service. And they've also asked me, well, how hard is it to get started running your own Uber service? And basically, it's easy to run your own Uber service. And there's, see, the thing about it is, on the internet, what did they say? They say opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. So when you say that you're doing something and you say that you're making money, apparently there's like no end of the number of people who want to line up to tell you that their idea is better and that your idea is stupid. But all I know is at the end of the month, what's coming into my bank account through direct deposit. But bottom line is this. Some people have asked me, they're like, oh, you know, how profitable is Uber? To which point I say, it's as profitable as you can make it. And the reason why is because it requires an upfront investment. So this right here, as you can see, this is not the same SRX that I leased before. This is a new one. Now, this is the base model, and as you can see, unlike the last video I did, this one does not have the heated and cooled seats on either side. This one also doesn't have like the LCD LED display like the XTS. This one has like the basics, like it has the garage door and this, that, and the other that goes up a certain amount. But this one's a very, very basic SRX, very, very basic. So this one doesn't have the nav system. This one has that OnStar nav where you got to call these people up and you got to ask them to give you the directions, which I think is the biggest jip in the world. The mere fact that you got touch screens in any of these things and that it has the ability to have nav, you should not have to pay extra for that feature. So, in my opinion, I feel that they're ripping you off. You should never have to pay for a navigation system. Any good company would basically give you the navigation system, throw it right in with the cost of the car. Now, the CT6 comes with navigation. That's not even an option. It just comes standard, which that's what they should have been doing for like the last 5 years. Every single one of these cars, especially for the price that you're paying for these cars, anything that's got Q in it should automatically come with nav. Now, as you know, I have to keep the music off because if I put music in the video, YouTube will censor me. I don't want that. But as you can see, this is the basest model that you can get. There's no bells, no whistles. There's no moonroof. There's just basically nothing. So this is the 3.6 liter absolute base. Now, if you want to see the loaded model, all you have to do is click the link that I'm putting on this video. And if you click the link, you'll automatically go over to the loaded model that I got. But basically, to make a long story short, I'm not an Uber driver. All I do is I make the investments by actually buying cars. When I buy the cars or lease the cars, and some people say, oh, leasing's not a good idea. But the thing about it is leasing's a great idea because you think about it. A lease payment might be about let's say it's $600 a month. If you have a driver like we do, we have a couple of drivers. If you have a driver who's willing to drive and make a couple of stops for you, basically, you can pay that $600 monthly payment off in one weekend. Because you got to remember, this is New York City. You see all this snow and ice? A lot of these people will call you up on your Uber app, and they would get you to come pick them up. And some of these people are willing to pay more, especially when you've got a vehicle like this. Now, Uber Black service. Now, Uber takes 20% off the top. The Uber Black service allows you to buy or lease cars just like this, professional black cars, and your customers basically pay a small percentage extra, and they get to ride around in a luxury car. So whether you have a Mercedes, or whether you have a Cadillac, or whether you have a BMW, whatever it is, even if you have Tesla, because I'm also participating in Tesla Loop with a P90D, because basically when you do this, these cars pay themselves off. Now, I would never do it with my SRTs, and this very simple reason why is because of the gas cost. You want to be able to break even, you want to be able to make a profit. What I like about the 3.6 liter that GM has in this car is the fact that this 3.6 liter uses regular fuel. Unlike the 2.0 liter turbo, you're going to have to use premium fuel with that 2.0. And that carries over for the CT6, that carries over for the XTS, that carries over for the CTS. But this 3.6, nice quiet engine, you don't even hear it. Nice quiet engine, uses regular unleaded, gets decent gas mileage. Like, let's see if I can show you. Let's see if I can show you the gas mileage right here. Menu. These buttons, like the way they have this set up, it's kind of confusing. So let me see, back. Okay, back. Let's see, northeast menu. Okay, settings, miles per hour. Okay, I'm not exactly sure where the gas mileage is, but I can always get that for you later. Units, info pages. Yeah, see, it's a little clunky, this interface, as you can see me using it. This interface is a bit clunky. And with the CT6, they've changed all these buttons, and they've made them like rubber with a harder plastic grip. So this way it doesn't feel clunky, it doesn't sound clunky. But, basically, this car will average about 20 miles per gallon driven, softly, not too hard. And that helps to justify its fuel economy with the 3.6 liter V6. A lot of the enthusiasts are saying, oh yeah, well, all you really need is a 2.0. You don't really need a 3.6. And the 2.0 is just so much better because it's mass reduction. The thing about it is you're paying for premium fuel at that point. If you're going to pay for premium fuel, you might as well have like a V Sport, or you might as well have something powerful. I don't see the point in paying premium prices and having like a non V8 engine. I just don't see the point. Now some people will say otherwise, but I'm not them. I expect to have more out of my cars. And as you can see, this is traffic. One of the things I hate about having an SRT Jeep or a SRT 300 in traffic is the fact that when you're sitting in traffic, you basically watch your fuel economy just drop. I like to be moving fast, so basically I only like driving those cars on the highway. For this ice and snow, this is what you want to have a 4x4. A lot of people don't understand why 4x4s and crossovers sell so well. One of the reasons why they sell so well is because you get ground clearance for one, and then on top of that, you get you get decent fuel economy with these V6s and these turbo engines. But the ground clearance and the fact that you can basically plow yourself through the snow really, really helps sell these vehicles. You see, the bus stop. This is where you don't want to be. Waiting on these buses. You gotta look at all that ice. Look how much ice is out there. Every wake of life on the bus. I hate the buses so much that it makes me do any and everything in my power to assure that I never have to take the bus. Even if I have to take the train into Manhattan, because as you know, in Manhattan there's almost no parking. But even if I have to take the train into the city, if I really had to and one of my friends is nearby, I'm gonna call them to pick me up. Or I would, if I had to, I would just call an Uber to come pick me up and take me out of there. I can't deal with these buses. I can't deal with these waits in the cold. And I'm a discerning, luxury driving Republican. I shouldn't have to wait online because I'm entitled. I work hard. I play hard. Look at this chick. Look at this chick. But I'm not gonna wait on any buses. I don't deserve that. I'm entitled. I work really hard. I get taxed up the ass. So these bus stops, no, absolutely not. I will not be waiting on these bus stops. Absolutely not. And I think one of the funny things about humanity, sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, it's amazing. If you look in the vast majority of these cars, like even this one, like you see how much space there is? It's like, what? That's enough space for about 5 people. One of the interesting things about humanity is that, and it doesn't apply everywhere, but if you're in New York City, people are scared of each other. Like, for instance, if I picked 4 or 5 of these people and say, hey, listen, I'm going your way. How about you get in the car? People would think you're crazy. They'd either think you're an axe murderer, like on Silence of the Lambs, where you're faking putting a couch in your car and you try to throw somebody in it. Or they would think, this guy's going to take me somewhere and kill me. But all of these people are driving around in these cars. Uh-oh, Challenger. Look at that. Look at that Challenger. Look at that. So anyway, a lot of people are just waiting on the sides. And they've got no rides. And everybody's waiting on the bus. And only in these small countries, like when I was in Seychelles, people could actually hitch a ride with other people and nobody was worried about anybody because like the crime rate was relatively low there. But here, it's like everybody, it's not just really America, but because Europe is having a lot of problems with these migrants. But people are terrified of each other. And you'd think that we'd be able to, help each other, like get a ride somewhere, but no, it's just not going to happen because if you offered a ride, people wouldn't trust you. And if somebody asked you for a ride because they were in dire straits, you wouldn't trust them because you'd be afraid, they might get in here, pull a gun on me, and they might try to rob me. I just think that's so sad. And in some countries with low crime rates, it's not like that. Everybody looks out for each other. If you see somebody, whether you knew them or not, if you see somebody having a hard time, you help them. Look at this Chrysler 200. You see, that car sells really well because it's got a V6 and all-wheel drive. That's the 200C right there. It's a good car. But, I always thought that was really interesting. So, here I am, I'm sitting in one of these big crossovers, or I'm sitting in a Jeep SRT getting 9 miles to a gallon, and I could, offer a ride, but nobody would trust me because they'd be like, yo, that black Jeep looks terrifying. I'm not getting in that. Because he's going to take me and he's going to put me in a pit, and he's going to say it puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. It's kind of sad. Cadillac and Lincoln should have me on their design team beta testing stuff Because basically, I think everybody's made the exact same complaints about Q. But had I been on their design team, I never would have allowed Q to make it past the beta stage without having just two things. I could have saved GM so much trouble. All I would have had was just two things. With this Q system right here, all you would have had to have to save yourself lots of bad reviews and lots of bad commentary, all you would have needed, on the left, you would have had a volume knob, and on the right you would have had a seat knob, and that's it. All you needed. In that BMW 7 review, like, while they were trying to show this man how to wave your fingers and turn your fingers and point at the screen, and they were trying to show him all this bullshit that you were supposed to do in order to get the car to simply change the radio station, what did this old man do? You can watch the video yourself. You tell me. What did the old man do? All he did was, he was like, where the hell is the seat knob? And he just reached for the seat knob, he reached for the volume knob, and that was it. And he was like, listen, all that other stuff is cute, but guess what? I just want to quickly change the channel. See, the sad thing is, a lot of these older people who buy cars like this, they are not tech savvy. Like, they don't use touchscreen phones. Some of these people really do still have flip phones. I mean, a lot of them have moved up to iPhones and stuff, but a lot of these people are not very tech savvy. So for you to try to make an interface where instead of touching volume, I got to reach below the volume knob or above the volume knob, all you've done is you've just made it harder for me. And by making it harder for me, guess what? You're going to get negative reviews from Car and Driver and Truth About Cars. I don't understand who puts this stuff together, but I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to complain. And the reason why I'm not going to complain is because I've already complained about it. And in every single Cadillac car that I'm part of, it's like, it blows my mind. Who came up with this? How did this get beyond the beta stage? Chrysler did it right. They had a touchscreen backed up by steering wheel controls, backed up by knobs. I guess somebody at Chrysler must have said, hey, let's rent one of these other cars and figure out what's wrong with the system. Why are these negative reviews coming in? And then you know what they did? They said, you know what? Now let's not make the same mistakes. Learning from other people's mistakes. That's what you got to do. If you don't learn from other people's mistakes, then, you just make the same mistake over and over and over. So this is really like a drive along in the 3.6 base. Not so much a review. The car is soft. This is a nice, soft, comfortable, quiet car. You can't hear anything really outside. If you were going to drive like on, the I-95 or something, and you were going to go past state limits and you're going to drive like from New York to Florida, this would be an okay car to do it in. This would be an okay car to do it in. This new C-Class right here is a really nice little car, but it's too small. When that E-Class comes out, that E-Class is going to change the world. That E-Class is going to be so amazing that every single other car company with a car that leases for $600 or $700, they're not going to be able to sell any of those cars. The E-Class is going to kill them. BMW 5, the interior looks the same as it always looked. Boring. Tesla, Tesla just started a new leasing thing that I'm going to check out, because maybe we might get another Tesla Model S. But Tesla just started a new lease where they're saying $700 a month allow you to lease a 70D. Not a P90D or nothing like that, but you'd be able to lease a dual motor 70 kilowatt battery pack. Now, does it come with the moonroof and navigation? Chances are it doesn't, because Tesla is really funny with their math. That's why right now their stock has plummeted again. So that means that right now I'm down. Now I'm up because I bought it at 30, so I'm way up. I mean, I'm still at like around 200. But the problem was I was expecting it to hit 300 so I could sell it. Can't sell it yet because it keeps plummeting. It goes up to 280, drops back to 240, drops down. Now it's like 198 or something last time I checked. I have to when I get home, I'm gonna watch like Market Watch or Fox Business. It's like, how could you trust a stock market which is owned by government manipulation? And then it's not even regular governments. It's not capitalist governments. It's socialist governments all over the world. Government manipulate. How could you trust the stock market at this point? Everybody keeps saying, oh yeah, well, you should sell. You should sell. Problem is, if I sold and it ever went up, which I really doubt it will at this point, you know, I'd feel stupid if I sold right now. So, you know, I'm one of those gamblers in the casino who's way up and they just don't know when to stop. You know, out of sight, out of mind. Soft ride, over the bumps, potholes, it's actually pretty good. The wheel, as long as you get small wheels like 16s or 17s, these cars pretty much ride really, really smooth. But you have to get small wheels. If you get the 20s, you're gonna have a slightly rougher ride. If you ever bust one of those rims, that's $1,500 out of your pocket unless you get it off of eBay. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people buy brand new rims off of the internet, or they buy designer rims, because it's easy to find those on sale. If you buy OEM rims, OEM rims are really the best rims for your car. Like, I refuse to change my SRT wheels, and it sucks because the Jeep has wheels that are like $4,000 a set. So you got to lock these cars up just to make sure nobody gets to them, because in the very beginning they were stealing the wheels off these cars. Even the Hellcats, they were stealing the wheels. So my only thing is OEM wheels I love. I'm never doing 22s. I'm never doing 24s. I'll stick with 20 or lower. 19s tend to be pretty expensive when you want to get a tire. The off size, like if you're a +1 or -1, it's usually going to be more expensive. Oh, here comes the police. Oh, hello, officer. Where you going, officer? Whoa. He's going to tase somebody. So anyway, if you're buying one of these cars for luxury, not just for the looks, you're going to want to get 16s or 17s. The smallest rim you can possibly get, that's what you're going to want to get, because if you get that, it'll ride nice and soft over the potholes. You don't have to worry. And most of these cars, I've noticed, even the CTS, didn't come with a spare tire. So you also, if you can, you should buy yourself a full-size spare, so you get a real rim with a tire just like the tires on the car, and you keep that in your house until you go traveling. And if you ever go traveling, you just keep that right in your car, pull it out if you ever bust a tire, and you got it. But the problem is, most of these cars, they say that they're shaving like, what is it, like 30 pounds worth of weight, not giving you a spare, and they're giving you a tire inflator. Problem is, these tire inflator things don't always work, and it only reinforces the fact that most of these people don't know how to change a tire. So that means that basically they're just going to sit on the side of the road until AAA comes. Look at this chick out here. Look at this chick shoveling. Damn. Okay, so you know, this is oh shit, I guess I must have to stop because that's a red light. Oh, look at that Charger. Look at that Charger. Damn, that's a nice Charger. Yeah, see, Chrysler owns the hood. They're making big cars with V8s if you want them, a V6 all-wheel drive. You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Stop making these small little silly cars and make stuff that you can get, you know, a bunch of people who are like 6'5" in, you know? Everybody's happy. Because even these crossovers trade height for length. So basically, I could sit straight up in this car easier than one of these new cars with these coupish roof lines. Because these coupish roof lines, they take away so much space that what ultimately happens is, you know, they're tight. And you don't want to be tight, you want to be comfortable. This is a luxury car. Luxury, okay. Yep. So, yeah, that's it. This is, I mean, it's a good car. It is a good car. You know, it sucks that this is a base model right here, but as you know, I mean, we're using it for Uber, so, you know, my driver will enjoy it, and that's, as long as he doesn't wreck the goddamn thing and I don't have to call Geico, everybody's happy, you know? So that's all that matters, and that's what it's all about. Okay, so we've all been here before. First of all, well, maybe I should turn off Oscar Schindler back there because I was watching Schindler's List. But, okay, so that's my Xbox. And right here, Cadillac. Let's make this really quick. All vehicles. Can't wait to get my hands on that CT6 because, you know, some of the reviews, the earlier reviews are starting to trickle in, but they all look copy-pasted to me. But, okay, the SRX crossover 2016. Starting price right here is $37,605. Basically, that's exactly what I got. Basically, the base model. So, if you're looking at the finance estimate, they will give you a 2-year lease for $344, but you have to pay them $4,204. Now, obviously, that's not the same for everybody because some people may have trade-ins and this, that, and the other. But this is basically this car that I got. Now, I'm going to include the link so that you can see the other car just in case you happen to be shopping for an SRX, because I've noticed that I got a lot of hits on the last video that I did. Some of my Cadillac videos actually get a lot of hits, so I tried to keep this nice and simple for you. But, yeah, that's it. Front-wheel drive, $38,600, and that's basically it. No equipment, no luxury package, the standard package is all it came with it. No performance, no premium. Now, if you do add the luxury package, you're jumping up about $5,000 or $6,000, and then you start getting more equipment. Like, you know, they give you like heated, cooled seats. They give you ultra view sunroof, leather seating surfaces, and this, that, and other. But let's look back at that standard for a second. So you get the 3.6 engine, the Q system, which doesn't have navigation, but it has that bullshit with OnStar that you got to call them up and ask them, you know, to tell you where you're going. Steering wheel controls, that's, you know, basically standard in all cars at this point. Bluetooth connectivity, dual zone climate, and that's it. So this is all you get for standard. But since we already have one that's fully loaded, there was no point in buying another one. So the people who use the Uber Black service and get this car of mine, they get to pay slightly less than the people who get to ride around in better luxury. So, you know, it makes sense because you really think about it. What is this? $400. Somebody can make that in just one day, especially, you know, when the weather gets bad here. So, you know, we'll just see what happens. But thus far, for those people who keep asking me, Uber has been very, very profitable. The drivers that I have, they get paid nicely. I get paid nicely. We make the car payments. We make the insurance payments. And we get discounts because it's a small business. But other than that, everything has been going fantastic. And that's it for now. Until the CT6 arrives.